If you've been in the Roblox community for years, or at least heard about it, you might know who these people are. These are the guests. Roblox has deleted types of users. What made guests special is that they were not normal users. They were people who didn't have or didn't want to make an account at the time. But they could still freely play any game in Roblox at the small cost of having an avatar set for them already and chat being disabled. They could not type in chat or see chat bubbles. Back then most guest users were children who weren't allowed to have an account back then, so most users who had an actual account made fun of them most of the time. Most guests were banned from games by admins or owners for no apparent reason, aside from being annoying to some. A video showing this treatment is the currently first public video on Flamingo titled Annoying Guests in Roblox, uploaded on August 4 from 2017. The video acted as a sort of documentary to prove the guest tests were in quote But what if one of these guests was not a drooling child, but a myth, hacker or threat to the Roblox platform? Well, that's where the star of our show goes out to the stage. His name is Guest 666. But who is this person? Guest 666 is one of the first ever myths created in Roblox, and is one of the few very old ones. Although there is no actual date of its first sighting, it is said that he was first spotted back in 2008, the time when guests were first added to Roblox. But he wasn't seen hacking or having malicious intent until 2017. The alleged myth stated that the user with the name Guest 666 would not be your everyday guest. It could talk, fly, use admin powers, and hack in every game on every way possible. Although this guest, unlike other myths, has no history behind it, it left a mark on Roblox players for many years. And he makes a comeback to Roblox games as an Easter egg or villain every now and then. When it comes to games using Guest 666 as an inspiration for them, there is a lot to unpack about it, so we should definitely look into them. On the 3rd of July, 2017, the user Oblivious HD, known for making a variety of story videos like The Last Guest, regarding myths and other topics, uploaded a video titled Guest 666 Roblox animation with over 18 million views as of the time I'm editing this. The video is a short movie that goes on to Oblivious' take on Guest 666, making him a killer or myth instead of being a famous hacker. It takes place inside of some school grounds where a girl named Emily gets bullied on their daily life. The movie starts off by a group of 3 kids drawing with spray paint on the classroom S-board the message "Justin is a loser," when suddenly from outside the classroom, they hear a voice coming from Guest 666, which then goes out to unalive them. After that, it shows Emily, the protagonist, getting bullied, as it happens daily to many people in schools. Minutes after ending the class, Emily stays in the classroom reading about the Guest 666 myth before the teacher starts telling her its backstory. The story goes that Guest 666 used to be a genetically modified guest who looked nothing like the others. He liked to isolate himself from everyone, making him particularly different from the rest, until suddenly one day, he was found unalived on the school's courtyard. It was a believed but the real reason for him being unalived was unknown. The teacher then says it's just some silly legend and tells Emily to leave, as it was getting dark. On her way home, her bullies find her. They start picking on her, before 2 out of the 3 bullies lose their head. One bully stays with Emily, telling her to go into a car, basically threatening her. But before anything bad could happen, Guest 666 appears behind the bully and unalives her. Guest 666 disappears and the 2 bullies come back to find their friend unalived, blaming it on Emily. The rest of the movie shows how Emily is being blamed for her being unalived and how Guest 666 torments her, before eventually leading to Emily finding Justin, the guy that was getting picked on in the start of the video, and asking for her help to defeat Guest 666, and then suddenly, one of the bullies pulls out a knife and threatens to stab both of them. They try to run away before eventually getting cornered on the very top of the roof. The bully is about to stab Justin, but before that, a friend of Emily, called 3.0, grabs the bully's arm, distracting her. But sadly, 3.0 ends up being pushed off the roof. 3.0's brave action distracted the bully for a long enough time, long enough for Guest 666 to appear and take action on both the bullies. Before Guest 666 can harm them, the 2 old guests approach him, asking him to let them down, and make him remember his past. It shows how no guest liked him. They were all disgusted or weirded out by him, which might explain why he was obsessed to being isolated. But then, it shows Guest 666 being thrown off the school's roof, showing how the 2 guests that did it didn't do it on purpose. They were going to scare him off, but they lost their grip, making him fall off, sadly ending his life. Guest 666 snaps back, and lets the girls down before eventually disappearing from the roof. The 2 bullies ask for forgiveness by Emily and Justin, saying that they won't bully anyone ever again due to all the chaos that happened in the past days. The two old guests, obviously, get arrested by the crime they did by throwing guest 666 off of the school's roof, and at last, but certainly not least, guest 666 encounters Justin and Emily in the forest outside of the school. Guest 666 slowly turns into a normal guest, and he begins fading away, probably meaning his soul was set free and the myth finally ended. The movie ends by showing Emily and Justin in the hospital's bed from 3.0, he survived the fall but was severely damaged. All of them talk about how guest 666 was not targeting any of them, instead, targeting the bullies from Emily, and targeting the bullies of Justin. Probably showing how guest 666 didn't want the story to repeat itself. They all hug each other, before the movie eventually ends. On the 31st of March, 2020, a game by the name Guesty was uploaded by the dev group dubbed NK Studio. The game revolves around guest 666 for the most part. The story goes that guests were an everyday person on a particular town or city. They could cook, read books, ride bikes, and everything anyone could, until Roblox, the account, pushes a button that instantly unalived, or in this case, banned guests, making every guest in the world disappear, but not some of them. Most guests were turned into monsters, with the only goal being to unalive any person in their path. I won't go into much detail about it because the story is very similar to Piggy's story, one of the games Guesty is based on. A player or bot gets chosen to be Guesty and the rest have to escape whatever scenario is chosen in the match. It's basically a mix between Murder Mystery 2 and Piggy. The game has more than 96 million visits by the time of writing this script and is still being updated, having an update coming in the 26th of April of 2025 for Easter. It's pretty wild. But now, what about Forsaken? Forsaken, a well-known game at the time of writing this, has had multiple leaks about a new killer coming on a future update, this killer being guest 666. Its style looks almost nothing like the original myth, having horns, a terrifying face, a tail, hair by its neck and a different kind of body, almost resembling a demon. It will have 3 abilities counting mouse click, plus 1 scrapped ability, and have 666 health. But all of this might change due to guest 666 not being released yet. Its first ability will be a slash, dealing 32 damage to all players in its hitbox. The next ability, called Infernal Skewer, is said to be a ranged attack. What it does is unknown, but it is theorized that guest 666 will use its tail as a ranged weapon against survivors. The third ability is almost unknown. Its fan-made name is the Leap ability, as in the Answers channel in the Forsaken Discord server. It was said that guest 666 will have a dash or leap ability once it releases. The scrapped ability for this killer was called Wings. It would make guest 666 grow wings and dash forward. If he hit a survivor, he would scrap them all across the floor. Not much else is known about it aside from being replaced by the leap ability. Guest 666 has left a massive impact on Roblox as a platform, and will still be remembered and used in many projects. But for now, there's not too much left to cover about this myth. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and leave a like. It would really help me get to those 2,000 subscribers. Wink wink, nudge nudge, but for now, goodbye, see you next time.